put over a variety of different kinds of content that you teach in class, and you can use them over and over again without them feeling too repetitive. It's kind of like how you have a picture frame and you're able to swap out the picture but still keep the frame. That's the general idea behind Edu Protocols. And the Fast and the Curious gives you lots of repetitions, you and your students lots of repetitions, and allows you to give them this wonderful in time, in the moment feedback that really sinks in. It's kind of like working smarter instead of harder to get better results. And it all sort of revolves around this tool called quizzes. If you're not familiar with quizzes, it's very similar to Kahoot, if you've used Kahoot before. And it basically lets you ask your students questions. They respond to them on their devices. Kind of feels like a game show. There's a leaderboard, and the faster they answer the question, the more points that they get. Familiar with quizzes, it's very similar to Kahoot, if you've used Kahoot before. And it basically lets you ask your students questions in time, in the moment feedback that really sinks in. It's kind of like working smarter instead of harder to get better results. And it all sort of revolves around this tool called quizzes. If you're not familiar with quizzes, it's very similar to Kahoot, if you've used Kahoot before. And it basically lets you ask your students questions. They respond to them on their devices. Kind of feels like a game show. There's a leaderboard, and the faster they answer the question, the more points that they get. And so a lot of times when we use quizzes, it's in the form of a review. And we give them some questions, we ask them, they respond to them, and we can see how well they know things and what we need to do going forward. In the Fast and the Curious, we're almost using quizzes to teach the material. And so here's the general idea of how the Fast and the Curious Edu Protocol works. On Monday, this is kind of like a weekly repetitive thing. On Monday, we start off with some new vocabulary words, some new concepts that they need to learn, and we give them some questions. Let's say there's 15 vocabulary words, and we ask them those questions on quizzes. So there they are. There's that first icon. We ask them the questions. So here's an example. A lot of times whenever I present this with teachers, I think, what can I teach them that they don't know? And the thing that I came up with was Polish. It's something that a lot of the teachers that I work with don't know. I can use it as content to kind of put them in the place of the student. And so I ask them all of these Polish questions, and I do it through quizzes. And so some of them they get the answers correct, a lot of them they get the answers wrong. And so once we've gone through those first questions, I basically just throw those Polish questions at the teachers. And so if you were using this in the classroom, you do the same thing. You just kind of lay these new vocabulary terms onto the students, and we see how much of it they actually know. Once they're done, we use that opportunity to take a look at the data and give them some feedback. Because the great thing about it is once they're done with those questions, like the moment they finish up, we have this golden frame of time, this golden opportunity to give students feedback in the moment when they're still sort of like mentally connected to it. You know, we take homework assignments and we grade them and we hand them back the next day, and kids throw them in the trash can a lot of times because they're so disconnected from when they did it. But now they've just done it. This is the perfect time to give feedback. So anything that they've struggled with, we give them a little mini lesson about it. Anything that we need to reteach, we can go ahead and do that. So that's what we do there. So we're digging into all of the questions that the students struggled with. We've got the data right here, and we're able to give them what they need. It's kind of like differentiating down to the class by looking at the data and saying, what do they really need the most instruction on, and giving it to them right there in the moment. And then once they're done with that, we take the quizzes game again. So we just did it. We just told them what they need to be able to get it right the next time, and then we take the quizzes game again. Whenever I do this with teachers, sometimes once we've taken this quiz on Polish words, and I give them some mnemonic devices so that they can remember those words, sometimes they look at it and they go, yeah, but do we have to take it again right now? We know all the answers now. Is it really that useful? And I say, yes, absolutely, we need to take it again right now. Because if I give you all of these strategies and all these mnemonic devices and everything, and I say, hey, just remember that next time you take this, it's going to totally just drop out of your memory. But if you can put those strategies into practice right away, right now, even if you know all the answers, that's pretty important. It locks it in. So that's what we do on Monday with this Fast and the Curious Edu protocol. We repeat that process again on Tuesday. Take a quizzes game, do the reteach or the mini lesson for everything that students struggled with. Now on Tuesday, you can either continue to ask all of those same questions, or if students showed mastery of certain questions, you can drop those off and only ask them the questions that they struggled with. So either way, this totally works. We give them the feedback in the moment, which so beats writing a whole bunch of comments onto the students' work and handing it back to them the next day, because that's kind of pointless if they're not going to look at it. If you can give it to them in the moment, that's so much more useful. Have them take it again so that they lock those strategies into their memory. On Wednesdays, this is getting kind of repetitive here, we do the same thing. We take that quizzes game, either with the ones that they're still struggling with or with everything. Reteach, give them a little mini lesson on the stuff that they really need, take it again. Now's where it gets interesting. We go to Thursday. We take that quiz one more time on quizzes, and we see how all of the students perform across the board. You ready for this? If the entire class performs at a level of 95%, if they're able to get 95% of the questions right across the board as the class, we give them an A for that assignment in the grade book, and we move on. Move on to something else. And so once we've shown mastery of these new vocabulary words, instead of taking the vocab quiz on Friday, what do we do on Friday? Something great. If you've always wondered, how do I fit in Genius Hour? The whole 20% time where students pursue something that they're passionate about for 20% of class. Boom, there it is right there. If there's something that you've just never felt like you had time for that is important, boom, there you go on Friday, that's it. Now the idea of giving students an A on that assignment and moving on, if they all got 95% of it, it feels a little strange at first to teachers. But if we think about it, what are we trying to accomplish here? We're trying to have students show mastery of those new words. And if they're able to do that through some repetitions in class, and then they're able to show that mastery just as well as they could on a homework assignment, then why wouldn't we just go ahead and give, if everybody's shown mastery of it, why wouldn't we just put that in the grade book and move on? And so what if we do that? What are the benefits of it? Well, first of all, it's efficient practice. It means that students are in class doing that practice. You don't have to wonder, did they copy those questions from somebody else? Did they actually do it? How much time did they spend doing it? It also frees you up to do what's important in class. You've got that extra day. So if you're able to accomplish all of that with the Fast and the Curious protocol, Edu protocol, and you're able to get those vocabulary words or get those new concepts in 4 days, and then you free up time on Friday, now you've got time to do what's important. But finally, it also gives you time to spend planning for what's important, because now you don't have to use all of that time to grade homework. So imagine that. Imagine if you could take those stacks of homework, those stacks of all of that repetitious worksheet-based homework, and you didn't have to grade it. You didn't have to put it in, take the time putting it in the grade book. You put all of that aside because quizzes does the grading for you. You put it in the grade book, and now you don't have to spend all of that time. Now what are you going to do with that planning time? What is it that you wish you had more time to investigate? What is it that you wish you had more time to set up for the kids? And if you have that more time, now we're putting it towards what's important and what's getting results, that time in class with students. So that's the beauty of the Fast and the Curious Edu protocol. It's pretty easy to set up. Of course, the great thing with quizzes is that you can create your own questions to ask students quick and easy. You can also search through everybody else's, the millions of quizzes games that are out there to try to pull in other questions so that you don't have to write them yourself. Lots and lots of upside here. So I hope this is useful to you. if this video has been useful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and like it. If you like videos like this, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next video.
It's a more. Oh, my busy going to Tuesday. I thought you in the conquer come.
Only woman is daughter only the conquer.
Once down. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have a flavor. It's out of my hour. Come and take the joker.
I fix time to me, so time.
It's okay. Very beautiful.
Tí lọ jí wò nínú òde. Mo ti rẹ̀ ń tán gbéṣẹ́ tí mo apply for.
Internal
applicants. Ó ti ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀. Kíní ló wà student co-op.
Yóò mọ̀ gan.
Ó sì kọ́kọ́ ṣe BSc
Mo fi ní bóyá yóò mọ̀ gan.
India
Àwọn India tó ti yà yàfúyà.
Ó ṣe computer
Yóò tún wá
science
fast
BSc.
lọ́wọ́.
Ó tó wá ṣe NEET. Ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa parí program ẹ̀mí gan ni kì í tí parí. But students kíní ni co-op ló wà láti jọ. Fa ìgbà tí mo rí àdúrà àwọn èèyàn tó wà 5 wọn ni tèmi lè kọ́ di ọjọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó apply mi 17 years experience kí ló dé.
Kò sí general beating wọ́n ṣe fún mi.
General beating.
Everybody stand up. Raise up your hand. What did you do? Everybody. Their principal ṣe láìlé ọ̀gá ọ̀tá office. Tó bá ń bọ̀ wá kọ́ra ẹ̀ ti dáná. Okay, any time púpọ̀ 7:45 lábẹ́ ẹ̀ lẹ́lẹ́ kí o lé ní.
7:45.
6:45 lábẹ́ ẹ̀ lẹ́ kí o.
Mi mọ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ mi.
Even with that gan, kàtà púpọ̀ ní ṣe 6:45 gan 6:14 ti lù báyìí. Ẹ mú ní ẹ tètè ká lè rí nǹkan ṣe lásìkò. Kí ni ó sì ń wò mí bí àkórí àǹkà tí mo sọ make sense. Àbí?
Nígbà tí mo ṣe ń like kì í ṣe
pé
ọ̀rọ̀ kan ni mò ń sọ lọ́wọ́ ṣe I was like okay.
Ń gbádùn ọ̀rọ̀ ṣèbájọ́ ń jí sí mú kan á wá go náà mọ́ ẹ tètè. Mo lọ sí pé Kùránì tó gbé lákùn tó lọ. Ẹ̀mí ìrìnlẹ̀ ẹjọ́ ń lo Kùránì.
Ìgbà mi mo máa ń fi fóònù kà. Ìgbà mi ti ń bá lágbára.
Ibi tó kà dénú Kùránì yẹn. Ibi tó kà dénú Kùránì, ibi tó kà dénú fóònù ọ̀tọ̀, ibi tó kà dénú Kùránì. Ibi tó wà. Bismillah.
Kùránì kọ́. Kùránì ló wà fún.
Ṣé bí wọ́n ka Kùránì méjì lójúmọ́? Oní Kùránì kan tán bá a lọ. No. Oní Kùránì wọ́n mọ̀ ká Kùránì méjì lọ́sẹ̀. Bí ṣe Ibrahim ṣe wà bá ṣe bí sí tó.
Mo sọ pé lójú wọn fẹ́ òkè báwo.
Wọ́n máa ṣe lè ṣe. O mọ̀ nǹkan tí ṣe Ibrahim ṣe lójú mo máa àdúrà tí wọ́n ṣe àdúrà meeting tán lọ àdúrà àwọn ìtàn bá sọ̀rọ̀ ni. Wọ́n lè parí Kùránì méjì lọ́sẹ̀. O mọ̀ tún mẹ́rin.
Mi sọ pé kò wà wonderful gbogbo àti sọ pé méjì lójúmọ́.
Mi tí mo fi yẹ. Méjì lójúmọ́ àti méjì ní kí kò sí àtọ̀.
Méjì lọ́sẹ̀ gan náà 7 days.
Ntí mo o tí mo tí mo fẹ́ sọ. Ó ní Kùránì tán bá lọ tán máa ń kà lójúmọ́ yẹn ń lọ àti tán fi ń ṣe náfìlà lóru. So wọ́n parí Kùránì kan pé Kùránì tí mo ń kà lọ tìláwà mi o ọ̀sẹ̀ kan. Tìláwà tí mo fi ń ṣe náfìlà o yẹn náà ọ̀sẹ̀ kan. So ntí mo sọ tí mo mí bá Kùránì méjì nìyẹn. So wọ́n run 2 concurrent kira every day.
Jews mélòó ló máa kà daily ni.
Wọ́n
kì í mix Quran sí 7.
Tàbí kọ́dà máa wá jókòó mo ti rí ìmọ̀ àmà sáà ní táwọn èèyàn wà lóde bí i àìtẹ́ àbájọ́ àgbẹ̀ Quran lẹ́sẹ̀ àwọn tó kúrò. Òun àtọ́lọ́run rẹ ni ṣé àwọn tó kọ́ ti tán sọ́dọ̀ lọ. Tẹ́yìn wọn pé wọ́n ń wò lórí àìtẹ́ kí ló wá kàn pẹ̀lú wọ́n ń wò yàn lórí àìtẹ́ táwọn èèyàn bá jókòó lórí àìtẹ́ kí náà máa ń ṣe náà. Ṣé bá kàn listen àkàn ń wòran náà ni. Bí àwọn àráyè ṣe tákọ́ tó kú nílé ó sì mi àtọ́lọ́run mi gbọ́dọ̀ sí. Wọ́n rántí ìgbà tí mo máa ń lọ kinní náà mo máa ń lọ London kí ló ń pè kinní kan mọ́ọ̀lù káàkiri.
Hosted mọ́
sí máa kápá àánú mọ́tò. Bó o ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ṣe ó máa tẹ fóònù ó ṣe kan.
أعوذ بالله
أعوذ بال
أعوذ بال أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
At least a student.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
رحمن أو رحمن.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتي تأتين الفاحشة من نسائكم فاستشهدوا عليهن أربعة منكم فإن شهدوا فأمسكوهن في البيوت حتى يتوفهن الموت أو يجعل الله لهن سبيلا. والذين يأتيانها منكم فآذوهما فإن تابا وأصلحا فأعرضوا عنهما إن الله كان توابا رحيما. إنما التوبة على الله للذين يعملون السوء بجهالة ثم يتوبون من قريب فأولئك يتوب الله عليهم وكان الله عليما حكيما. وليست التوبة للذين يعملون السيئات حتى إذا حضر أحدهما الموت قال إني تبت الآن ولا الذين يموتون وهم كفار أولئك أعتدنا لهم عذابا أليما. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تحلوا لكم أن ترثوا النساء كرها. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يحل لكم أن ترثوا النساء كرها ولا تعضلوهن لتذهبوا ببعض ما ببعد ما آتيتموهن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وعاشروهن بالمعروف فإن كرهتموهن فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا وإن أردتم وإن
أردتم استبدال زوج مكان زوج
وإن أردتم استبدال زوج مكان
لسه ما
زوج
ضنفة
وإن أردتم استبدال وإن أردتم استبدال زوج مكان زوج وآتيتم إحداهن قنطارا فلا تأخذوا منه شيئا أتأخذونه بهتانا وإثما مبينا وكيف تأخذونه وقد أفضى بعضكم إلى بعض وأخذنا منكم ميثاقا غليظا ولا تنكحوا ما نكح آباؤكم من نساء إلا ما قد سلف إنه كان فاحشة ومقتا وساء سبيلا حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وعماتكم وخالاتكم وبنات الأخ وأمهاتكم اللاتي أرضعنكم وأخواتكم من الرضاعة وأمهات نسائكم وربائبكم التي في حجوركم من نسائكم التي دخلتم بهن فإن لم تكونوا دخلتم بهن فلا جناح عليكم وحلائل أبنائكم الذين من أصلابكم وأن تجمعوا بين الأختين إلا ما قد سلف إن الله كان غفورا رحيما.
ما شاء الله أحسنت.
نعم
قراءتي improve.
lẹ́yìn ìgbà ó sì gbà ó. alhamdulillah.
wọ́n kàn kó ti dà bá àjọ kan. ó mọ akẹ́yìn pọ̀ wà á kàn pé ìwọ ṣáà máa stop wà á kàn pé lákàkẹ́ yín àti
والمحسنات من النساء والمحصنات من النساء إلا ما ملكت أيمانكم كتاب الله عليكم وحل لكم ما وراء ذلكم أن تبتغوا بأموالكم محسنين غير مسافحين فما استمتعتم به منهن فآتوهن أجورهن فريضة ولا جناح عليكم فيما ترضيتم به من بعد الفريضة إن الله كان عليما حكيما. ومن لم يستطع منكم طولا أن ينكح المحصنات المؤمنات فمما ملكت أيمانكم من فتياتكم المؤمنات والله أعلم بإيمانكم بعضكم من بعض فانكحوهن بإذن أهلهن وآتوهن أجورهن بالمعروف محصنات غير مسافحات ولا متخذات أخدان فإذا أحسنا فإن أتينا بفحيشة فعليهن نصف ما على المحصنات من العذاب ذلك لمن خشي العنات منكم وأن تصبروا خير لكم والله غفور رحيم يريد الله ليبين لكم
ليبين لكم
ويهديكم سنن الذي من قبلكم سنن الذين من قبلكم ويتوب عليكم والله عليم حكيم.
àti mo dẹ̀ wọ́n kà mo find it difficult láti kà kí nínú Quran yẹn.
Mo enjoy it. One thing tí mi kì í jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé mi kì í wò kéyìí lot.
káàkiri mo mọ wo bẹ̀rẹ̀ wá yẹ kí mo lákùn kí ni gbogbo rẹ̀ mo rà ń kà.
Mi kì í wò lot ṣe mo reason.
bí kí àti máa kàn kí àwọn máa fi wọ́ ká ni.
For me ṣe mọ̀ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni because èèyàn ti láì díẹ̀ pé mo ti mọ̀ pé ibi tán bá ti kàn yìí then rule kan wà ń bẹ̀ nìyẹn tí n bá ti wò mo ti mọ̀ pé rule tán try láti sọ pé kí n apply ni most times tí n bá wò kí I'm right ṣe get so mi really mọ rule yẹn but mo mọ̀ pé báyìí ló yẹ kí n ṣe pé tí n bá rí kinní mo ti mọ̀ pé àbẹ́yà kọ́lá ni bẹ́yà tí n bá rí bíi bá tí ó ní sókun lórí cough tó ní sókun lórí mo ti mọ̀ pé kọ́lá ni dal tó ní sókun lórí tí n bá rí mi mo ti mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní kí n ṣe gún náà ni depending on ṣe mọ̀ mi lè sọ pé rule báyìí ni mi inú ẹ̀ mi lè sọ pé for example àwọn hams yẹn tẹ̀sí kọ́ wa yẹn àwọn hams yẹn máa ń ṣọ yẹn náà màá wò kí n gbà máa ní àkílódé bí a bí wàá kí wọ́n fẹ́ kó jáde dáadáa so I think not just knowing at the back of your mind that there is a rule here ó máa ń jẹ́ kó slow down láti think about pé báwo ló yẹ kó ṣe pé ibẹ̀ yẹn for me I enjoy it but I think what I enjoy most about it is that it's big and then the color coding kò really sí color coding blue náà fi ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ so a kàn ti mọ̀ pé rule kan wà níbẹ̀ yẹn bá ti rò ó mo ti mọ̀ nǹkan tó fẹ́ jẹ́. kí ni time? I still have time to read until this page. Inshallah. Bismillah. والله يريد أن يتوب عليكم ويريد الذين يتبعون الشهوات أن تميلوا ميلا عظيما يريد الله أن يخفف عنكم يريد الله أن يخفف عنكم وخلق الإنسان ضعيفا يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم إن الله كان بكم رحيما ومن تفعل ذلك عدوانا وظلما فسوف نصليه نارا right وكان ذلك على الله يسيرا. إن تجتنبوا كبائر، right? إن تجتنبوا
كبائر ما تنهون عنه.
مد 4 to 5. إن تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه نكفر عنكم
اوكي نكفر عن سيئاتكم. وشرطني على تشرط تبع شباب ما شباب.
So kini ló wà ń bẹ̀ tefrim la máa lò terkik la máa lò kẹsọ̀ ló ṣe ṣíwájú ẹ̀ àbí terkik ni fir in tajtanibu kaba'ira ma tunhawna anhu nukaffir ankum sayyi'atikum وندخلكم مدخلا كريما. ولا تتمنوا ما فضل الله به بعضكم على بعض. للرجال نصيب مما اكتسبوا وللنساء نصيب مما اكتسبن. للرجال نصيب مما اكتسبوا وللنساء نصيب مما اكتسبن. واسألوا الله من فضله إن الله كان بكل شيء عليما. ولكل جعلنا موالي مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون والذين عقدت أيمانكم فآتوهم نصيبهم إن الله كان على كل شيء شهيدا. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم
فضل الله بعضهم على بعض.
فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حافظ الله والتي ولا ẹ wo ibi tán fi mọ́dì yẹn ṣé lam ló ní mọ́dì ní àbí yà واللاتي واللاتي تخافون واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا وإن خفتم شقاق بينهما فابعثوا حكما من أهله وحكما من أهلها إن تريدا إصلاحا